Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of ExcelR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. ExcelR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with ExcelR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if ExcelR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with ExcelR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank ExcelR for being a part of it.
Good afternoon, dear faculty members. I hope you all doing well. Yeah, good afternoon, Prashant sir. Is I'm audible? Prashant sir, is I'm audible?
Hi, Sushmita. Could you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you can start the sessions.
Okay, then. Thank you, Sushmita. Hey, hi, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, based on your locations from wherever you all have joined. So, welcome once again, everyone, to the session. Okay. So, we'll get started in a minute. Let me share my screen quickly to all of you so that from there we all can be able to proceed further. Hey everyone, if you all can recollect, yesterday we have been able to cover what exactly is a generative AI. Right? This is something which we were been able to complete as part of our yesterday's discussion. Right? Like when we talk what is generative, the purpose of it is to generate the content for all of us. And then again, AI, when I said it is artificial intelligence, which is required for us to generate any type of a content, that it may be text or it may be image or it may be audio or it may be the video, right? Code, anything you can be able to generate today with the help of the generative AI, right? That is what is the core capability which we are all having currently. Okay. Now, apart from that, we also discussed. I'll not go into the details of it, as you all know that you can watch the recorded session of whatever we have completed as part of our yesterday's discussion. But I'm giving a high-level overview of what we have already covered. From there, we will continue our journey further. Okay, we'll take up the remaining parts and we will proceed further. Okay. So as I said to you, this is what is a generative AI. Okay, this is a technology which will be helpful for us to generate all the related content, whatever we want, using the artificial intelligence. Okay, so that's the core capability which we have with us. And then apart from that, like you see that here, like to generate the text, we have Chat GPT, to generate images, Dali, to generate the code, GitHub Copilot. Like this, there are different tools which have been available to all of us, right? So all of these tools are very much required for us to have the related content, whatever we did. Okay. And then we discussed, like again, your GenAI is basically a type of AI which will always help us to create the new content like audio, image, or text, or a code, or a video, anything as such. Okay. And then artificial intelligence, I've explained to all of you that let's say human beings are the most intelligent species in the world. So we are trying to transfer the human-like intelligence to machines so that at the end of the day, machines can also become smart and they can also be able to handle the things proactive. Okay, so that is artificial intelligence. So transferring the human-like intelligence to machines and making the machines intelligent enough is what we here call it as artificial intelligence. Okay, and as I said you, this is a replica of it where you see that the human intelligence getting transferred to machines, and now machines are becoming very much smart enough and they are able to handle the things proactively, right? That is when artificial intelligence has been boomed up and it has started becoming very much popular, I would say. Okay, and then you see that here, like if you observe in this scenario very clearly, like artificial intelligence, again, it's a very broad field, I would say. I mean, it's not something like very simple in nature. It's a very broad field which is available within the world of the computer science, where it focuses majorly on creating some intelligent systems, right? Like where you typically require human intelligence, like how we as a human beings are intelligent enough to handle most of the tasks effectively, right? In the same way, artificial intelligence is also a field of computer science where we are incorporating the human-like intelligence. Okay, this line is very important. I'm saying you that it's a human-like intelligence, but it is not the human intelligence altogether. Okay, so basically, here in this case, what we need to understand here is, like, let's say we are trying to transfer the human-like intelligence into the system. Okay, that's the core capability. So we typically require here the human intelligence. So human-like intelligence, don't think like human brain is being taken and it is being kept into the machine. Okay, it's not like that. It is like how human beings are intelligent enough with their capabilities. Same way we are also incorporating it to the machines also. So that machines will also have the human-like intelligence and they can also become smart and can handle the tasks very effectively. That's the main intent behind it. Okay. And then you have the world of machine learning here. As I said, machine learning is a part of your AI only. It's not something different. It's a subset of your AI itself when we say machine learning. Okay, it focuses majorly on making the predictions or decisions, right? Whatever predictions or decisions which we want to implement or do, machine learning is very important, for which you can feed some amount of data, right? It's going to take that data. So ultimately, the data is going to be fed into the machine learning model. And then the machine learning model is going to take that data. It's going to make the predictions or decisions without any programming. I mean, you don't even need to do even a single programming. You just take the data, whatever you have, put it in the machine learning model. Your machine learning model itself will be in a position to go ahead and do some predictions or decisions, okay, without any programming needed for it. Okay, so how machine learning is going to work? It's ultimately going to work on algorithms. Okay, who develops these algorithms? Data scientists, right? So it is an algorithm written in which language? Written in R programming language, right? It is being written in the R programming language and then Python. Okay, so like this, there are different various options which are being available for all of us. So when we say machine learning as a world, it's like it's totally been dependent on the data and it's a subset of your AI. So with the help of this data, right, you can make all your predictions or decisions. Okay, so that's the core purpose of the machine learning. Now, machine learning is not generating anything new. You have to be understanding very clearly whatever these in the world of AI, you have machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI, right? See, machine learning is not generating anything new here. What it is trying to do is you are giving the data where you as a human being not able to understand it. So your machine learning model will go ahead, do all the analysis, and it will give you a better prediction of the decision so that we can be able to follow it appropriately. That's it. That is what machine learning is simply going to do. For that, you have so many algorithms, programming languages, and then you can be able to develop it. But again, this is not our core part, which we are going to discuss as part of our faculty development program. But it's always good to do it. Okay. As I explained to you, right? You give machine learning a lots of data. As I explained you yesterday, you give machine learning much amount of data you want, you just go ahead and feed. It will be able to understand all different types of images and it will automatically get itself trained. Okay, I mean, you don't need to train anything. Machine learning model itself is going to train everything on its own. And finally, whenever you are going to go and ask, like among the list of fruits, which is apple, it will easily be able to detect because it has already been trained with those type of images on its own. Okay. So ultimately, machine learning needs a lots of training data, because obviously, if it is not trained, how will it be able to answer? Imagine you as a human being, right? Let's say you have been asked some question. If you have been trained, you can easily answer. Let's say if you have not come across that concept at all, how will you be able to go ahead and answer? You cannot be able to do that, right? So it's the same way. Machine learning here is very much important because you need really a lot of training data here. The moment you're going to feed a lot of training data, then it will have the capability to answer and predict and take the decisions appropriately. And it also needs a good amount of computation power, which is nothing but the speed. You need a good amount of speed to handle the things appropriately. And obviously, algorithms are like a heart for the machine learning. So without algorithms, you will not be in a position to detect the things appropriately. So your machine learning definitely needs some good amount of algorithms where it can work on its own, it can train on its own, and it can give you all the predictions, whatever you want, based on the data, whatever you're going to add it into the machine learning models. Okay. And then finally, you have another one here in the world of artificial intelligence. After machine learning, you have your deep learning available. So as part of the deep learning, what happens is, like in the human brain, we have a neurons, right? In the science, you would have studied maybe like in biology or whatever subject it may be. Okay, so we have a neurons present in our brain. Like if you see here, all these are your neurons. Okay. So all these neurons are like transmitted to each other. They're all connected to each other. Let's say whenever you take any decision on your own, right? So how it actually happens, all your decisions are going to take care with the help of the neurons, right? Your neurons are all interconnected to each other, right? So from these neurons only, the messages are going to be communicated from your human brain, and then you're going to respond to it appropriately. Okay. That's how human brain works. So what data scientists have thought that is, why can't we replicate the same neuron-like structure which is there in the brain to the machines, so that machines can also be able to do some great stuff over here, right? So that's what has been replicated. Input layer is the question, whatever we ask. Output layer is the response which we get it. In between whatever layers you see, right? These are the multiple layers, like how we have the neuron presence in our brain, right? In the same way, these layers will try to process all the information. Okay, you have your layer one, you have your layer two, layer three. Is there any limit, like only these many layers? No, it's up to you how many layers you want, you can be able to have. Okay, so there is no difficulty in this. Okay, so in this case, like there are multiple layers which are being present, like you have hidden layer one, hidden layer two, hidden layer three. You can have as many layers as you want without any difficulties or constraints. Okay. So whatever layers are being present, all these layers are going to be very much important for all of us to process the information and then take it to the next level. Okay. So more the layers, more validation is going to occur. Okay, when you have more layers, right, there will be more amount of validation which you can do, and it will be making your responses at the end of the day, when it is giving the output, right, the response, it is going to be having a very good amount of quality associated with it, because you are trying to validate all your information into multiple layers, and then ultimately you are being able to give your response as an output layer over here. So this is the core capability which every one of us here should be aware of. Okay, there are multiple layers associated, like you have hidden layer one, layer two, layer three. All of these layers are going to play a very important role to validate the information, and then ultimately it goes to the output layer. More the layers, more quality you are going to get it. Less the layer, less quality you are going to get in order to give the response. Today, you take your ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, all of these tools or all these AI models are basically using the same structure which you're able to see. Okay, this is a structure which they are going to use at the back end. Input layer is something which you can see, that's your question. Hidden layer means it's a hidden, right? So these layers are not going to be visible to you at all. Whatever you see, that these layers which are present, like layer one, layer two, layer three, all of these layers are going to be hidden. That means it's not going to be visible at all to anybody. Okay, and then finally it goes to the output layer. So in the output layer, you're going to see ultimately your responses are going to be provided to you. Okay, this is how the architecture will always look like to any of the like tools, AI models which are available in the outside, right? Like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, Claude, any tool you take it up, everything uses the same architecture. Okay. So that is the reason now you see that deep learning is a subset of your machine learning. It's a core concept of machine learning, but it's a part of the machine learning only when you say deep learning. And deep learning focuses on what? The neural net. The main deep learning, the main core component of it is actually your neural networks. So neural networks is something which is going to make your deep learning go in a really strong manner, I would say. Okay. So that is the very purpose of the deep learning, where you have the neural network associated. So with the help of the neural networks, right, you are going to make your deep learning go in a very strong manner. Okay, so that's when I said you AI, artificial intelligence, is something like where you typically require the human-like intelligence into the system. Machine learning is where it will be helpful for all the predictions and patterns. Deep learning is where it is helpful for us to connect to all the neural networks, and the neural networks is going to transmit all the information in a very quality manner. That's how it's a part of AI world only. In the artificial intelligence only, the part of artificial intelligence is the machine learning, and another part is the deep learning. Okay. Then again, so within the world of AI, machine learning, deep learning, anyhow we are aware of, generative AI is a part of that. Right? Today, generative AI is a core component of your artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. Okay, so now, even though there are so many, now you see immediate to generative AI, what we have is a deep learning. Right? Immediate to generative AI, what is that we have? So we have here is the deep learning. Okay. So what is happening over here? If you see very clearly in this scenario, your generative AI is an immediate subset of your deep learning. So generative AI is using the core concept of deep learning, and deep learning is having a core concept called as the neural network. Okay, so we have here, that's a neural network. Okay, so neural network is a deep learning concept, and deep learning is a part of generative AI. So generative AI is also using the neural network. But we don't call neural network in generative AI. We call it as the transformer. Okay. Instead of calling it as a neural network, we call it here as the transformer, where transformers are going to be very much helpful for us. Okay. So ultimately, your generative AI is a subset of the deep learning. That's what we have learned till yesterday. And then generative AI is also have something called as agents. Okay, that is what we are going to discuss further today. But yes, agents are another important component which we should be able to be aware about. But again, to know about agents, you need to know generative AI. Without knowing generative AI, you don't know what agents are all about, what they are trying to do, how it is helpful for us. Okay, so that we are going to explore today, so that you all will get a better idea or the better picture of how things are being proceeding in the world of the AI. Okay. So yeah, if you observe here, right, conventional AI systems, okay, which is not part of generative AI, like your machine learning, it may be your deep learning. Okay, what do? They do only these things. They can only predict the data. They can classify the data into different parts. They can cluster the data. That means they can combine the data. They can use natural language processing, or they can create images. Computer vision means they can create images. That's it. That's it. It's not going to do anything else apart. Okay, when you talk about the world of conventional AI, right? So conventional AI is all about predicting, classifying the data into different components, clustering or adding them into different parts, and then having the natural language processing, and finally the computer vision. Okay, these are all are your conventional AI systems which are going to be helpful for all of us, and even images it can be creating. I mean, this is the world of the traditional AI, but now we have moved into the world of the generative AI, right? So now if you see, if I show you here in the world of generative AI, what we can do, we can generate a new content. The capability, if you see here, right, in conventional AI, what is happening is you are giving the data, right? You are feeding the data to the AI model. What is your AI model doing? It is analyzing the data and giving you the response. That it can be predicting the data, or it can be classifying the data, or it can be clustering the data, or creating images out of it. You are getting my point, right? So whatever the data you give, based on the data, it is able to go ahead and then classify all the different things. Okay. So that's the core component which we have to understand. Okay. So these are the conventional AI systems. Okay. I mean, it's not going to generate anything new for you. It's only the capabilities. Let's say you give me a data. What maximum I can do, I will analyze the data in whatever potential or whatever best way I can do, and I'll be able to give you the response to it. That is the maximum which I can do. That is what your machine learning and deep learning has the capability as a conventional AI system. But coming to generative AI, right? The extra speciality of the generative AI is here also data is mandatory. Okay, here also your data is mandatory. Without data, you cannot be able to proceed further. So in the generative AI systems also, you definitely need your data to be present. But this time what will happen is your generative AI system will analyze your data for sure. After it analyzes the data, right, it will also be able to generate a new text or an image or an audio or a video or a code, whatever you want to go ahead and see. Like what happens and say, you gave me a data. Okay. Now, when you gave me the data as a generative AI system, what I will do is I will learn the data. I will train myself with the data. Now, next time when you come and ask me the question with regards to that data, right, I will stick to the data, but I will generate a new content out of it. I will generate a new result out of it where it will be a little bit shocking for you. That is what ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini today does, right? You may be thinking in your mind, like let's say when you're asking any question, it is able to go ahead and generate the content for you, right? Like let's say you feed any data, it will try to learn from your data and still it will be able to go ahead and create it in its own way so that you can be able to understand it in a much easier manner. That is the core capability of the generative AI system. Okay. So basically, when I say the core capability of the generative AI system here, right, it is all about like you're going to take your data into consideration. So taking the data into consideration, you can be able to generate all your text, image, audio, video, source code, and all of them are going to be generated in a new manner. Let's say you gave some text as hi, welcome to the class. You know what, it will not directly take that content and say hi, welcome to the class. It will say hi, okay, hi all, okay, welcome for the today's session, and I'm happy that you have been here joining for the class. Same meaning, it will not change it. But what it is going to do, it will try to convey the same message in a very unique manner so that we all can be able to understand it in an easier way. That's the main idea here. Okay, so generating always a new content based on whatever you provide as a data. From there, it will try to generate always a new content, and then you can be able to see all of that content will be created, and you can see those responses also appropriate. Okay, without any difficulties or challenges associated with it. Okay, so that's the core capability which we all should here be aware about. Just give Okay, so this is one of the core capability which every one of you should here be aware about. Okay, you should know the difference, right? If somebody asks you what's the difference between the conventional AI and generative AI, you should be in a position to say. Conventional AI is also great, but conventional AI is always good for prediction, classification, clustering, your natural language processing, computer vision, only for this purpose. Okay, whereas your generative AI is capable to generate a new content. That content may be a text content, or it may be an images, or it may be an audio, video, or a source code. Okay, this is how your generative AI systems are actually going to be capable of. Okay, so that's the core clarity which every one of us here should be having as an understanding. Okay. So yeah, if you see here, right, ultimately what is happening. Okay, I forgot to show you this picture. See this picture? This is an understanding, right? Let's say you feed a lot of Apple images to your generative AI system. Okay, let's say you feed a lots of images to your generative AI system. Now your generative AI system will learn from all these apples, that how the apple shape would look like, what is the color of the apple, how the apple is going to look, all patterns that your generative AI system is going to learn. And finally, it is going to generate an apple on its own. And this is going to be a new apple. It may look exactly like the previous apples only, but this is going to be a new apple altogether, where your generative AI system is capable enough to generate this new apple and then take it up further. That is the core capability of the generative AI system. Even though it has a lot of images associated with it, but still it can be able to go ahead and can create some great images with the help of the generative AI. Okay, that's always a new image. So this is the clarity. So ultimately what is happening? Without data, everything is null. You take machine learning, you take deep learning, you take generative AI, you take any agentic AI, everything is powerful, everything is successful as long as they have the data associated with them. Right? As long as they have the data associated with them, they are going to really do some great job. Let's say the moment the data is not there, even though how much ever powerful system you are going to develop, how much ever powerful model you go ahead and develop, right? It is not going to sustain because data is the key prerequisite for all of your AI models to be really successful in the market. And the second thing is we definitely need a computation power, which is nothing but the speed. If there is not enough speed, then people will not be able to go ahead and utilize it, right? So definitely we need a computation power. Computation power is nothing but the speed. With whatever speed you are going to handle the things, right, then only it's going to be helpful for us. So speed is very, very important. Okay, so without speed, we cannot be able to handle the things effectively. Okay, so that's the most important thing which we all have to be here aware about. Okay, so just a minute. Yeah. Okay, so computation power means like whatever responses it is going to give, it should be within a fraction of milliseconds. Okay, so that it can be able to give us like with good amount of speed, you can see the results are getting derived. Okay. Then we have the next one is conversational and contextual understanding. Obviously, that's what is happening, right? You imagine you open any of those like ChatGPT, Copilot, or Gemini. You ask any question. What it does, basically, it will conversate with you, right? It's a conversational. Like, let's say, first time you liked it, that's fine. You didn't like it on the first time, you'll keep asking until you're going to get the best response out of it, right? So you're conversating. At the end of the day, you're conversating with the LLMs which are being available, right? So that is the reason it's said as a conversational, where you can always be able to go ahead and can ask whatever the related questions you have. It will still be able to respond. You can conversate and can get all the desired responses whatever we needed. And then contextual understanding. Okay, contextual understanding here means it will always understand the context in which you are trying to ask. Okay, so all your AI models today are so powerful that in whatever context you're asking, it can understand that context and can be able to give you the better responses at the end of the day. Okay, that's how it is a conversational and contextual. In Google, what happens? Let's say previously, if we don't know something, right, we used to put it in the Google. What Google does, Google will give you some 10 to 15 links. You have to go through one by one, and then if you get the content, well and good. If you don't get the content, then that's going to become a difficulty, right? So conversational content. Conversational means if you are not getting it, you can still interact with your AI models. Ultimately, you are going to get the better response out of it. Okay, that is how you can shift to conversational and contextual understanding and can be able to derive the best results out of it. Okay, and also on top of that, we need high computation power, which is nothing but we need really a very high amount of speed associated with the things. Okay, and then on top of that, your machines also needs to be trained on the large amount of the data. Okay, there's a large volume of data. Definitely you need to provide that data, then only it is going to be super special to go ahead and handle the things effectively. Okay, and we definitely need high amount of speed to get the responses, otherwise people will not be comfortable to utilize it. And it's always a conversation, so you can conversate and can always be able to get the best responses out of it. And then it's always a contextual understanding. That means you always see that there is a context setup. It can understand the context and can give us the better responses at the end of the day. Okay, so these are the key takeaways which we all should here be able to consider. Okay, so hope you all have got the clarity of how the generative AI is going to work. Again, we will dig deep into these concepts, so not a problem. We will enter into these topics in a very detailed way so that you all can understand the concepts in a much, much better manner. But this is the foundational knowledge which every one of you should here be aware about. So now what I'm going to do is I'll take you to the world of agents. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'll take you to the world of agents, like where you can understand what is AI agents. Okay, what are the different concepts available in the agentic AI? Okay, so we will take one by one. Like today, generative AI, then agentic AI, then again we will move to generative AI, where we will understand what are the different GANs, RAGs, generative adversarial networks, right? And then we will move into the RAG concepts. There are like a hugging face, and then again agentic AI, because all these are very closely related to each other, right? All of these are very closely related to each other, so that we can be able to handle them in a very proactive way. Okay, so that's the point which we should be able to consider overall. Okay, I mean, that's the core idea which I just want to make sure that every one of you here should basically be aware about. Okay, so that's the main point. So now what I'm going to do here is let's go and try to understand what is the AI agents access. Okay, so that you all can get a better idea over here. Let me quickly try to share my screen. Okay, so let's understand what exactly is an AI agents. Okay, so let me put it up over here. So when we talk about the AI agents, right? So first of all, what is an AI agent? See, AI agent means it's nothing but it's a software program. Okay, an AI agent here is nothing but it's a software program. Okay, or what we call here as a robot. What does a robot does? You would have watched a Rajnikant movie, right? Okay, we have that robot movie, right? So what does a robot movie does? Robo movie will ensure that, let's say, see, programmatically the robo has been developed. Like you are incorporating some software programs on top of it. Okay, where it will be able to like it will take that software program and it is going to learn on its own. How it is going to learn on its own? So first it will observe its surroundings, right? Your AI agent is always going to observe first its surroundings. Okay, after observing its surroundings, right, then it will think. Okay, then it is going to think about what to do, right? It will go ahead and then try to think about what to actually do, and then finally it goes ahead and then takes your actions ultimately to go ahead and reach a specific goal. Okay, so basically when you talk about the AI agent, right, it's going to AI agents is always going to act like a smart assistant where it will think and then will act to help you. That's what you would have seen even in the let's say even in the robo, right? Even in the robo movie also you would have observed. What does that chitty or a robo does? It will always try to learn, observe its surroundings. It will try to think about what it needs to do next, and then it will take the actions to reach that specific goal. So that is what is AI agent. You would have seen that movie long time back, but that is right now getting implemented across multiple industries. When we say AI agents, here we are trying to develop this software program. Okay. So in this scenario, right, like we are actually here trying to create as an AI agent, we are trying to create a software program, or even sometimes, as I said, right, you can also be able to call it as a robot. So where we are trying to observe its entire surroundings, okay, and then and then on top of that, it will also think about what to do, and then it will take action to reach the specific goal. So what are the keywords here? First, your agents are always going to observe, then it will think what it needs to do, and then finally it will take all the action whatever is needed. These are the keywords. So ultimately agent is nothing but, yeah, you, me, we all can develop the agent, which we will anyhow learn practically how to do it. Okay, so every one of us can be able to go ahead and we can create our own AI agents without any difficulties or challenges. Okay, but when you're going to create those AI agents, right, that's nothing but you're incorporating a software program on top of it. But that software program has to react or it has to work appropriately, right? If it is not going to work, then what is the main thing which we are going to get from, right? So it's like you install the software in your system, but if you're not utilizing, what is the purpose of installing the software then? Same thing here also. You developed an AI agent with the software program. But if it is not working, then what is the purpose of creating that AI agent? So when you create that AI agent, it is all related to the software program. Now, after you develop the AI agent using the software program, right? That is nothing but using Python or R programming language. You are going to develop your own AI agent. After that, your AI agent will take the main role to observe its surroundings. It will think about what actually needs to be done. Okay. And then it is going to take the actions to reach the goal. Okay. So that's the main thing which we all have to understand here. Like first we need to observe and then we need to think and then we need to take the action. Okay, so these are the three most important things. Okay, so ultimately what is going to happen here is it's going to act like a smart assistant where it will see, think, and then it will act to help. Okay, that's how your AI agents are always going to play a very important. Okay, now what we need to understand here, let's try to take it further. Why are they called as agents? Right? Why you would have called something else, right? AI system, or you can call AI model, but why they are called as agents? See, in a normal English, right? When you talk about an English language, agent is what? When you talk in English, agent here is nothing but it's someone who is going to act on your behalf. That is agent, right? Like you would have seen even in the normal language, we put agents. Why agents are important? Because they are going to act on the behalf of us, right? As we are not doing that activity. So these agents will further go ahead and they are going to act on our behalf, like what exactly needs to be done. Right? That is the reason we are calling it as an agent. Like you have a travel agent or a booking agent, correct? So in AI world also, the agent is going to act on behalf of a user or a system to achieve the task automatically, right? In the world of AI, when we talk about the agent here is nothing but it's going to act on behalf of a user or a system to achieve the task automatically to all of us. That is why we call here as the agent. So it's a normal plain English only, like how we use agents, right? Where the agents are nothing but who are going to act on our behalf. Like let's say it may be a travel agent or a booking agent, right? In the same way, in the world of artificial intelligence also, today you are developing agent. After you completed developing the agent, right? Agent itself is going to act on behalf of a user or a system where it will automatically do all the tasks for us. Only responsibility for you is to develop it. After that, it will, as I said you, right, in the previous step only. After that, it will observe everything on its own. It's going to think on its own, and then it will take the actions also automatically. Okay. So that's how your agents are going to play a very important role, like where they are going to act on your behalf and then they are going to work on the tasks automatically. Okay. So this is very important point, like because you may be thinking that why it is AI agent. So I've given you the clarity that why it is considered here as an AI agent, because it's going to act on your behalf. Okay. So that's the core capability which we need to understand. So now one of the most important things here is like when you talk about the AI agent, right? So your AI agent is having very big capabilities. Like there are three capabilities which your AI agents can be able to do it. One, perceive. Okay. It is called as perceive. Perceive. It's a perceive, we call it as. Perceive means what? Perceive is nothing but understanding what is happening around it. Okay, perceive means it's all about you are going to understand like what exactly is happening, okay, around it. That is what we here call it as the perceive over here. Like example, if I could just give you an example, let's imagine you are driving a self-driving car. Your self-driving car will see the road and it will use all its cameras to see if there are any obstacles or whether we are going in the right direction or not. Right? So that is perceive. So perceive main capability here is to understand exactly like what's happening around it. Okay, so that it can be able to have some really great capability and it can be able to proceed further. So when you talk about the capability of the perceive, the very purpose of the perceive capability is to understand that what exactly is happening around it. Like as I said you, it can be a self-driving car where it can see the road and it can use all the cameras to see whether if there are any obstacles or whether we can be able to go in a right direction or not. That is perceive, the very first capability of the AI agent. Then we have here decide. Okay. So decide means what? Like think about what to do next. Right? Decide means what? You are going to think and see that what you are going to do next. Right? That is what is the decide. So now imagine the self-driving car. The car will decide to stop if a person is crossing. Let's say, as I said you, right? First of all, it will use perceive. Perceive means what? As I said, you need to understand what's happening around it. So let's say there is a self-driving car. Now it will see the road using all its cameras. right? Then it is going to decide and think about what to do next. That means if the car is going to see that if there is a person who is crossing, right? So the car will immediately decide to stop. Or let me say a reverse scenario, that there is no persons and the highway is very crystal clear, nobody is crossing the road, there is no nearby vehicles, then automatically it will understand the self-driving car is going to take its own action and it will be able to proceed further. Right, the car will decide to move further if there is no persons who are crossing the road, or if there are no nearby vehicles near to your self-driving car. Okay, it will decide accordingly based on whatever it is able to perceive it. Then finally it will act. Okay, finally it's going to act. Act means what? Execute. Okay, act means it will go ahead and ultimately it will execute an action. Okay, so act here is nothing but it is going to be responsible to execute an action. So let's say what it will do, the moment it sees that the person is crossing the road in the previous step, it decided to stop. That is when it will act. It will execute it. The car will hit the brake button, right? The car is going to just click on hitting the brake button to stop the vehicle. So that's when the action is being taken. So if you see, AI agent is always having three core capabilities, and all of these three are technical, right? Technically, they are called as the perceive, decide, and then act. So perceive is here nothing but understanding like what's exactly happening around it. Like let's say imagine there's a self-driving car and which it is going to see the road automatically using all its cameras. And then you have the decide option where it will decide like think to, I mean, it decide means again, as you know, like it will think about what to do next. So the self-driving car will decide to stop if a person is crossing, and then ultimately it will act. That's when it will be able to execute an action. So the car is going to hit the brake button immediately to stop the vehicle. If there is any person nearby, or maybe if any person is crossing the road, that's how it is going to execute an action. Okay. So ultimately, when you talk about your AI agents, it has three core capabilities which are available with us. Like one being, as you see, is a perceive, like where it can understand what's happening around it. Okay, and then you have a decide, like think about what to do next. The car will decide like to stop or to proceed further, if like whether based on the scenario or based on whatever it has been able to perceive. And finally it will act based on the again previous two steps. All of these three are interrelated to each other. Act means it will execute an action, like where the car is going to hit the brake button to stop the vehicle immediately. Okay, so if I talk about again one more example, right? These days, I don't know how many of you are aware about, there are some robotic vacuums which came up. That also behaves like an AI agent only. You see that like vacuums have come up, right, to clean your like houses and all, right? So previously we used to like if your house is very big enough, right? If your house is very big enough, what we used to do, we have to like take all efforts, or we need to put some servant who can help us out in order to clean the house or to do all the household activities. But now you see that in the world of AI we are living in, right? So there is a robotic vacuums which are there. I hope you are aware about it. Like there are some very good like automatic robots where it can be able to go ahead and can clean the house without the need of any help. Okay, so if I could just be able to let you know, so let's say you have your own vacuum, right? That is a robotic vacuum. What it does, your robotic vacuum will first be able to it will try to see the dust. Okay, let me just explain to you here. It will be much easier. So you see there are some good companies like MI and all, they provide this automatic robots, sorry, automatic like robotic vacuums. So first is your robotic vacuum. Okay, I mean, this is my experience. I'm just letting you know. Okay, so first your robotic vacuum, what it does, you know, it will see the dust. Okay, it will see all the dust, and then wherever the walls are present, it will first see that. So it has its own sensors. Okay, the robotic vacuum is having its own sensors present with it, where it is going to detect any dirt or any obstacles which are present, right? It will be able to detect all of them. Okay, so first it will see the dust or wall, and then it will be able to go ahead and will determine the next move, like where it has to go ahead. Okay, should I go left or right or keep cleaning the same spot? It will determine the next move basically. So first it will see where the dust is present, where the walls are there, because walls are obstruction, right? It will, if it goes and collides with the wall, the robotic vacuum will get hit. So first it will see the dust, and then later it will be able to go ahead and see what are the external obstacles which are present. And then it is going to determine the next move, like should it go left or should it go right or keep cleaning the same spot. It will try to determine the next move. And then finally, okay, it will start move to the particular area. Okay, then it will take after the decision or after the determination, right? It will try to turn or move forward, or it will try to clean more. Okay, and then finally it's going to repeat until the room is clean. Okay, it will keep repeating the same process until the room is said to be clean. So when you talk about the robotic vacuum process, right, ultimately what's happening over here is, like, you can see different stages being considered over here. So as part of the robotic vacuum, okay, so first we are going to see all the different types of dust, or maybe like the robotic vacuum will see the wall associated with it, where it will use its own sensors to detect any dirt or any obstacles, and then it will determine the next move, where it will decide that whether it should need to go left or right or keep cleaning the same spot or not. And then it will try to move to that particular area where it will turn or move forward to still clean more amount of like dust wherever it is present. It will keep repeating until the room is clean. It will continue until the goal is achieved, that is to make the room clean. Okay, now in this category, you see, seeing the dust or wall, where the dust is there, where the wall is present, this is perception. Okay, this is what we call perception. We're first observing all the surroundings and then taking the call, and then determining the next move. This is where you're going to take the decision. Right? This is where you're going to take the decision that whether I need to move left or right or keep cleaning the same spot. That's a decision, perception, and then you have a decision, and then ultimately you are going to take the action, which is nothing but your execution. Okay, that then you will move to that particular area. Whether as per the previous step, whether you need to move to the left or a right, or you want to clean the same spot, you will be able to move to that particular area where you're going to take the action automatically. Okay, so you need to keep cleaning until the room is very clean enough. Okay, this is how you need to consider your perception, decision making, and then action ultimately. Okay, so I've given you two examples here only. Like, one is a self-driving car, right? What is perceive, what is decide, what is act, and then I've given you one more real-time example, which is your robotic vacuums, where you can see the perception is all about understanding first like how the surroundings are going to look like, then taking the decision, and then finally acting on the decision, whatever you have been able to take it up. Okay, so that's the overall picture which we need to know. So what is the formula? The formula of the AI agent is, okay, what is the formula of the AI agent? AI agent formula is perceive. That means first look into the surroundings, then decide like what you need to do, and then finally act. So this is the formula for your AI agent. So any AI agent, it may be a very small AI agent or a medium level AI agent or a complex level AI agent. Okay, whatever AI agent it may be, at the end of the day, the formula for your AI agent is that it will be able to first perceive, then it will be able to decide it, and then finally it's going to act. Okay, so that's the point which we all should be aware about. Okay, whenever anybody talks about the AI agent, the very first thing which should be registered in your mind is these are the three components. One is perceive, another one is your decide, and then the third one here is to act. Okay, once these three things have been fulfilled, that means you have been able to create your AI agent successfully. Okay, so that's the core capability which every one of us here should be aware about. Okay, so hope that this is all clear to all of you. So this is what I just want to give you here as a clarity. Okay, so even in the same way, you can also be able to take up some examples, like you can think in those lines, like Google Maps. Okay, let's say if I take my Google Maps, right? So what is Google Maps? Google Maps also will first perceive, right? How first it will know your current location, right? Location will automatically be detected. That means it knows, it's trying to understand, where it will first know your current location, and then it will go ahead and decide like what is the best or the fastest route, and then it will act and will show us the path and update. It will be able to update it so that we can be able to see the path and can go in those directions, right? Even your Google Maps, which are being present, it can understand your current location and it can be able to find the best, fastest route. And finally, it can be able to show the path and then update it. Okay. So, I mean, that's the core idea if you can be able to understand it over here. Okay. So Google Maps play a very important role, like where you can know your current location and traffic as a perceivance, and then decide means like finding the fastest route, and act means it will show the path and will update it automatically. That's one example. Even your chat GPT also, that's also an agent only, right? If you talk about your chat GPT, what does your chat GPT do? First, your chat GPT will perceive, it will read your question. Then it will decide, understand what is that you're asking. It will understand the intent behind it. And finally, then it will act and give you the relevant answer based on whatever you have been able to ask. Okay. So as an AI agent, you always have the capability to perceive, where you can read all your question and then you can understand the intent behind it. And then finally, you are going to see that there is a relevant answer which is going to be provided. That's how your chat GPT plays an important role. Like this, you can take any examples where you see that perceive, decide, and act is going to play an important role. Like perceive is like first understanding what is that which is needed based on the surroundings, then taking the decision based on however it is going to work, and whatever the decision you have been able to take, then you're going to act on it accordingly. That's it. This is how your AI agents are going to play here as a very important role. Okay, hope that this is all clear to like each and every one of you. So this cycle will keep continuing over and over until the goal is achieved. Okay, until the goal is achieved, this process will keep going. It's not like one time process. Always your AI agents will perceive the environment and the surroundings. It will take the decisions, and then based on the decision, whatever it has taken, it will act on it accordingly. That's it. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a small mini activity where I'll see how many of you have been able to understand it. But before I give you the mini activity, right, before I give you that small activity for every one of you to do it from your end, what I want to understand here is, are there any questions associated with whatever we have discussed right now? Any questions or anything which you want me to ask based on whatever we have discussed? Like today we revised the generative AI concept, we moved into the conventional AI and then the generative AI, the difference between them, and then later immediately we moved into the AI agents concept, where I was explaining to you what exactly is an AI agent. Okay, and then how the AI agents are going to observe the surroundings and then think about what to do, and then how they will take the action. So agent means why it's called as an agent, because it's always going to act on your behalf. Because when you create the agent and leave it, agent only will go ahead and work on your behalf rather than you being involved in that activity. Okay, and your AI agents are having now three core capabilities, that is to perceive, to understand what's happening around it, to decide, like think about what to do next, and to act, that's to execute an action or a goal. So I've given you an example here of a self-driving car, and then here the robotic vacuum example we have discussed in terms of perception, decision, and action. And then again later I explained to you what exactly here is an AI agent, right? Like how we can be able to perceive, decide, and then act. This is the core formula. And then I've given you two more examples also, apart from the robotic vacuum, self-driving car. We also have the Google Maps and ChatGPT also work more or less with this approach only. That is your perceive, decide, and then act. So now, are there any questions associated with whatever we were being able to discuss before I give you the, let's say, the mini activity for all of you to perform and do it? Any questions from anyone based on whatever we have discussed? I'm giving you 1 minute to ask if there are any questions. Okay, and one more thing I just want to let you all know, don't raise your hand, because again, as I would say, like we have we have a very very big audience here, right? So we cannot unmute yourself, but again you can put it in the chat whatever you wish. Definitely I'll be able to go ahead and assist you with whatever question you have. Okay, any questions before I give you all the mini activity? So hope you would have all taken up. Okay, let me just check. Okay, there are all individual questions. Let me go one by one. Yeah, thank you, Bala. Robotic vacuum, Meghna, sure. See, what I was actually talking about the robotic vacuum is, say first your robotic vacuum, which is there, right? It will try to first see on its own where the dust is present, because the very purpose of the vacuum is to clean the dust only, right? So first it will see the dust, and then it will see where are all the walls present, because if it goes and collides with the wall, the machine will break, or the vacuum is going to break, right? So first it will see all the dust or the wall which are nearby. That's a perception. Then it will determine the next move, where it has to go left or right, or maybe stay at the same position. That's the decision which the robot vacuum is going to take. And then it will move to the area, right? It will move to the relevant area, like where the action, I mean, where it has to go to the left or to the right, whatever the decision which it has taken, it will try to move to that particular area as an action. And then finally, it will keep repeating until the room is clean, because the very purpose of the vacuum is to clean the dust. So in three different stages, like perception, decision, and action, it's going to work, and then we'll be able to move forward. That's the example of the robotic vacuum Meghna. Hope that is clear to you. Thank you, Nitin, for confirming. Clear, Siddiqui. Okay, thank you. Okay. By when agents to agent for that as well. Yeah, we can have it for that also, Nilesh. Okay. So we can be able to go ahead and can make sure that we can just be able to stop the agent whenever we wish to. Let's say there is an agent. Now, robotic vacuum is the best example. Let's say if you don't want to use it, you can off it. That's when the agent will be in the stop mode. As long as you want to go ahead and utilize it, you can start the agent. Even for that also, you want to create one more agent to when to stop and when to start also, we can be able to create the agent for the same. Okay, who decides whether if it is optimal or not? It is we, the human beings only, we are going to decide it. Okay, at the end of the day, it's we, the human beings only, are going to decide which is optimal range for the agents to proceed further, because we are only developing the agents by writing all the software code and everything, right? So it is us who are going to be responsible to say which one is optimal range. Then your AI agents will automatically take that as an optimal range, and your AI agent also will learn on its own, like going forward, which one will be the optimal range, and it's going to consider that and take it further. Okay, so that's the idea which we all should here be aware about. Okay. Okay, so that's the main thing. Conventional AI. See, basically, conventional AI and generative AI is nothing but Santoshi. The point to be noted here is conventional AI means it can only be able to do some predictions. That's it. Let's say you want to set up a business. Now you gave the data to your conventional AI. Your conventional AI has the capability to only predict the data, that whether you need to set up the business, if you set up the business, what are the advantages, disadvantages. If you don't set up the business, then what are the advantages and disadvantages. It will predict the pattern, and then it will give you the decision. That's it. It's not having the capability to create a new content out of it. Conventional AI models are not going to have that capability at all. Okay. Now moving on to the other side, right, which is your generative AI. Your generative AI is not going to determine any patterns or predictions. It is responsible for you to generate a new content at the end of the day. That it can be text or an image or an audio or a video or a code. Generative AI system also will be training on its own. Okay, it will also be able to go ahead and train on its own, and then finally it will be able to generate whatever the content you wanted. Okay, conventional AI is responsible for all the predictions and patterns. Generative AI is responsible for generating the new content out of it. So that's the core capability which we should be here aware about. Okay, so that's the point we all have to be aware about. Okay. How the LLMs will work, that we'll discuss later, not now. Okay, when we go to the LLM topic, then I will discuss. So please put that aside. Does AI agents also work on the concept? Yeah, reinforcement learning is part of AI agents, is it? Okay. AI agents is a part of reinforcement learning. What is reinforcement learning? It's again will be covered later, but reinforcement learning means understanding the scenarios, understanding the, like, let's say, different ways of how you are going to work, it will be able to behave. Okay, based on the feedback, whatever we are going to provide, even from there also it's going to learn. So reinforcement learning is going to again play a very important role here, where it will understand, okay, where it is basically going to understand that how the things are going to look like, and then it will be able to behave like based on whatever feedback you're going to provide. According to that feedback, it is going to work. That's your reinforcement learning. Okay. So generative AI is a technology behind the AI agent. Okay, it's like both of them are connected. Like say, for an example, in your laptop, your Windows is an operating system, which you will never see. It's just a Windows. But if there is no Windows, you will not have anything in your laptop. I mean, Windows as an operating system, or Linux, or maybe Mac, these are all important operating systems which is holding all your applications and softwares on top of it. Same here also. Generative AI is a technology. On top of that, we are creating all small agents like AI agents, which we have not created it yet, but yeah. In order to give you an understanding, generative AI is a technology. On top of that, you can be able to create multiple AI agents associated with it. So hope that you all are clear with this one. So that's the point which we all need to be here aware about. And then till here, all done. Okay, just checking. Types of AI agents, I'll cover that. We have not moved into the topic yet, Nitin. So we'll discuss. Okay. I'll discuss about the types of AI agents. All these are there. So when we'll cover these topics, I will be able to answer them. So right now, I'm just putting or parking these questions aside to all of you. Okay. So that's the main capability which we all have to understand it. So now what next? So let me give you an activity where I would request you all to go ahead and then try to play around and let me know. So say me one thing. Okay. The first activity which I want to let you all know is you would have all seen microwave, right? Maybe at least if you have it in your house, maybe you would have known what is a microwave. Otherwise, you would have seen in some other different places, right? So microwave is something which you all should have been seen in your day-to-day life activity. Okay. So can you say me, is microwave an AI agent? Okay. Is microwave an AI agent? And if you say yes, okay, then I would just say you, give me how it tries to perceive, how it tries to decide. Because if you want to say it's an AI agent, it has to fulfill all the three conditions: perceive, decide, and act. So people who say no in the chat, that's okay. If you're saying that microwave is not an AI agent, okay, fine. Then you don't need to highlight all of these. But if you believe that yes, microwave is an AI agent, then say me how it can perceive, how it can decide, and how it can act. I'll give you 2 minutes of time for everybody to think through. I'll give you 2 minutes of time for everybody to think through and give me an idea that how this microwave is considered. Like, is it an AI agent? Yes. Or is it not an AI agent? If it is a no. If it is an AI agent, if you believe that it is yes, then do let me know how we are going to perceive this, decide it, and act. I'll give you 2 minutes time, everyone. Please do let me know whether is microwave an AI agent, yes or no. If it is yes, then give me all the 3 steps, how it is going to perceive the microwave, how it is going to decide, how it is going to act. If it is no, then you don't need to give me all these steps. Because if it is not an AI agent, then you don't need to follow the 3 steps, that is perceive, decide, and act. Okay, hope you all have answered it. Let me check it out. Okay, some say no, some say yes. Okay, I see some of you mentioning it as no, some of you mentioning it as yes. Okay, let's just check it out. Okay, what exactly is an answer? But first of all, great job. I see most of you have already answered. Okay, all these messages are coming private. Okay, don't think that where is this messages coming? Okay, so okay, not an AI. Okay, I see majority of you considering that this is not an AI agent, but some of you have highlighted that yes, it is an AI agent. Okay, but let me go ahead. I see still people are answering it. Let me just check what they have provided it. Okay, still I see not an AI agent, and some of you say yes. Okay, cool. Fine. So let me go ahead and then try to answer it, like whether if it is yes or not. I will answer it later, but let me first explain to you about the perceive, decide, and act. Okay. In perceive, right? Okay, I would say it cannot perceive it. Why? Because your microwave does not have the capability to detect. Okay, it doesn't have the capability to detect any food type. Let's say you open microwave, you put any food type into it. It be a cake or pastry or biryani, or you take any ingredients, you just go and put it in the microwave, right? It doesn't have the capability to detect what food you are trying to put inside it. Okay, it doesn't have that perception. So next it will decide what it will do. Ultimately, whatever the timer settings you are going to put for 30 seconds or for 1 minute, whatever timer settings you are going to put, it is just going to follow that. Nothing else it's going to do. So based on whatever the timer, okay, or based on whatever the timer settings you are going to put, it will simply be able to follow. That's it. So decision also it's not taking on its own. It is basically you are setting the time that how much you want, and then it will set the time and it will follow that approach and will try to decide how it is going to work. And finally, yes, it can act. How it will act? It will act by heating the food. Okay, it can act by heating the food. So basically, your microwave is an automated device. Okay, your microwave is an automated device. Based on whatever you say, it's going to work. But it is not an AI agent. Okay, your microwave here is basically considered to be not an AI agent. As I said you, right, if any one step is not working here, then you cannot classify it as an AI agent. If you really want to classify it as an AI agent, it should work in all the three ways: perceive, decide, and act. But in the case of microwave, even though it's an AI agent, your microwave is not having the capability to detect exactly the food type. Because whatever food you give it to microwave, it will just be able to heat that. But it doesn't detect and say you that the food which it is preparing is so and so. Okay, and then decide. It is not taking the decision on its own. You are setting the decision like by providing the timer using the microwave, and then it is following that approach. And then it will act. Yes, it is going to act because ultimately the purpose of the microwave is to heat the food. So it will be able to go ahead and will try to heat the food for us. That's it. That's how your microwave is considered here to be an automated device, but it is actually not an AI agent. Okay, so this is the understanding which you all should be able to have. Now, the same activity by giving one more example. Okay, you have Siri, right? In your mobile phone, it may be Siri, or maybe in Android also, right? Like you will be having your Google Speak. Okay, so you'll have the mic option, right? Like where you either use Siri or either you use your Google mic to speak to it. Correct. Now, can you say me whether if it is an AI agent, yes or no? Okay. As we are done with the microwave example, now our next question to all of you is Siri and Google Speak, okay, or Google Mic, whatever you wish to call it as. Whether if it is considered to be an AI agent, yes or no. If it is yes, then please explain to me that how you can be able to perceive it, how you can be able to decide here, and then ultimately how it can be able to act. Okay, just discuss in the lines and do let me know. like whether if it is Siri or Google Mic in AI agent, yes or no. If it is yes, do let me know how it can be able to perceive, decide, and act. If it is no, then let me know why it is a no. Okay. Just put your answers in the chat. I'll give you 2 minutes of time to complete this activity, everybody. Okay, perfect. Excellent job, everyone. I see that almost all of you were been able to go ahead and answer it. And I see majority of you have answered this as yes. Okay. For cooking, it is separate, Prajakta. Okay, for cooking, it's separate. Microwave, I was only talking about microwave, but yes, for cooking, there are different ways in which right now we can be able to handle it. Okay, right now, even cooking is also becoming very, very smart. I do agree with your point. Okay, but yeah, in the case of microwave, it is not yet. Okay, I see most of you have answered it appropriately. Good job. I'm just checking all the responses. Excellent. Okay, now I will quickly go ahead and let you know what is the exact answer. First of all, thank you all for participating. So first thing is perceive. So perceive, yes, it will perceive. How? By listening to your voice, because either it is Siri or a Google Speak, First, it will listen to your voice based on whatever you're asking, right? So perceive here is nothing but it is yes, where it will try to listen to your voice and then decide whether are you going to decide. Yes, it will decide. It will understand whatever you said. Okay, it is going to understand like whatever you were able to go ahead and said, right? It is going to act. Okay, it will give you the answer. Okay, it will go ahead and will give you an answer, or it is going to perform the task for us. Okay, so ultimately you can conclude saying that yes, Siri or the Google Speak is a goal-based AI agent. Okay, they are ultimately the AI agent. So what is happening? You take anytime your Siri or a Google Speak, right, or a Google Mic, what you do first, you are going to ask, right? It's a perceive, like where it will first listen to your voice. So first it will understand your voice. After that, it will like take the decision, right? The next step is it will take the decision. It will decide like, yes, I will understand whatever you have been able to say. So it will decide that. Then later it will act. Yes, I'm going to act. It will give you the answer, or it will be able to perform the task for all of us so that we can be able to handle it effectively. So ultimately, if you observe over here, yes, Siri is ultimately Siri or a Google Mic is a goal-based AI agent because it follows all the three different approaches, that is perceive, decide, and then act. Okay, so first it will perceive by listening to your voice, then it will decide and it will say whatever is needed. Okay, it will understand whatever you have been able to say it in your voice, and then finally it's going to the task appropriately. So that's the overall clarity which we all should here be aware about. Okay, so hope that this makes sense to all of you. So these are the two different examples which I just want to showcase it to all of you so that you all can understand that what exactly is considered to be an AI agent and what exactly is not an AI agent. Okay, so that's how you can leverage it in a much better manner. And one more interesting thing is when I was going through the answers, right, some of the answers were really very interesting. I mean, really good job, everyone. The way how you all have answered it, right? Because I've gone through everything one by one. So in between, like while you're answering it, right, I just went through one by one, and every one of you have been able to answer it very appropriately. So kudos to all of you. Great job in completing the first activity for the AI agents on perceive, decide, act by taking multiple examples. So in future, whenever you see any gadget, if you want to know if it is an AI agent or not, never ask any of your friends or any of the persons who are sitting. You yourself have to understand whether this gadget has the capability to perceive, decide, act. If all the three criteria is yes, then classify it as an AI agent. If it is all the three of them, if any one of them you believe that it is not been fulfilling, then immediately declare that it is not an AI agent. So this is the clarity which every one of you should here be aware about. Okay, so this is about the AI agents. Now I'm going to quickly walk you through the next important part here is history. Okay, history and how the AI agents got evolved. Okay, so now we will talk about the history and evaluation of AI agents. Okay, so now what we are going to discuss about is history, like how the AI agents came into the picture. Is it something new what we are trying to learn right now, or the AI agents have been there from a very long time, but we were not aware about it, and right now we are getting to understand about it, right? So we should be having that clarity, the history, and then how the AI agents got evolved gradually with the time. So those are the two important things which we are going to learn right now. So here the goal is, again, we want to ensure that we first get to know that how these modern AI agents are actually helping us out, like how they have started and how they are being moving currently. So let's say your AI was there from 1950, from 1950 to 1970, approximately 20 years of time. These years itself, from 1950 to 1970, you were having your all your AI agents. It's not something all of a sudden which came up right now. Okay, so your AI agents were being there from a very long time, and it like if so and so condition fulfilled, great. Okay, then do this action. So it's like that. Okay, let's say for an example, if input is rain, then output is carry the umbrella. It's like that. Okay, if and then rule. If so and so thing happened, then please execute this. That's how in 1950 to 1970 AI agents were there. They were very simple programs. Imagine in 1950, 1970, there was not even internet present, but people were talking about AI agents. At that time, this itself is a very big thing, right? Now everything is modernized. You have a lot of gadgets present with us. So this is in 50 to 1970. AI agents were there with the very simple programs. Okay, very, very simple programs, if I would say. They only followed if and then rules. Okay, based on the conditions it used to work. Okay, so it's like as I said you, right? For an example, if input is rain, then output is carry the umbrella. Otherwise, let's say like traffic lights. If the timer says red, then you're going to stop. If it is red, then stop. If it is green, then go. So like that. Like that, we used to have a very simple AI agents in the year 1950 to 1970. Okay, but the problem with these AI agents were at that time it was really a very hit, but still there was a challenges associated with it. Like it cannot handle any unexpected situations. Let's say if there is any unexpected situation, if it is going to move ahead with, right, then it cannot handle it appropriately. If there is any unexpected situation, it cannot handle or it cannot learn them, because what are you trying to say? You are putting everything in if and then condition. Based on whatever you put it in if and then condition, it will act accordingly. If you give any unexpected situation, then it will not be able to detect it appropriately. So that's the idea. Okay, and one more thing is, one more limitation here if we have to consider in this scenario is here in the rule book, whatever is mentioned here in this rule book, right, only that is going to work. Okay, whatever is possible or whatever rule which is being present in the if then rule, it will only consider that. That's it. It is not going to consider anything else apart from. Okay, in if and then condition rule. Apart from that rule, it will not be able to proceed further. And that is the reason any unexpected situation also, if it is going to come, it cannot be able to handle it appropriately. Okay, so these are the initial 20 years that how the AI agents were being actually present. Then came the year 1980. Okay, then in the year 1980, what happened is knowledge-based agents started coming up. Okay, in the 1980, so you see agents are not something new. Just because we are learning agents right now, it doesn't mean that agents have come right now. Yeah, agents popularity has increased because of generative AI, but agents itself is a concept which has been coming from the year 1950, and today we are implementing or utilizing it because it has gained popularity. But otherwise the technology is not new altogether. It's been there from the time of artificial intelligence itself. Okay, so if you observe over here in 1980, your knowledge based agents which are there, right? So now what is going to happen here? Your AI agents began using knowledge like facts and logic, where they stored in their databases. They could reason, like they could give us a reason, just not following any fixed rules like in the previous scenario. Okay, the famous example, like I said, like if you see here, there is a gadget called as mycin. Okay, MYCIN. Okay, so an this is an early expert system for diagnosing diseases and recommending some antibiotics. Okay, it asked questions. Okay, it was able to go ahead and ask questions like a doctor, and then it was able to give the advice accordingly. Okay, so basically, like you remember, like if you go to any websites, there is a frequently asked questions. You have some frequently asked question chatbot where it can answer questions based on preloaded expert knowledge. That's how in 1980 we used to have the knowledge based agents. Okay, I mean it was not popular, but still it was there. Like your AI agents, they used to have knowledge, like all facts, right, and then all the logics, everything was being stored in the database, and this database was being given access to this knowledge based agent. So that what will happen is if anybody is asking any question, it can go to this database, which has a knowledge based data within it, that is facts and logics. And from there, it can be able to fetch all the information. And then people used to get all the results out of it. So it's like like there is a famous example. This is a mycin, mycin. It is one of the agent which got created in the year 1980. And the very purpose of this mycin is to diagnose diseases. Okay, the very purpose of this is to ensure it can be able to like diagnose any diseases like a doctor, and then it started giving some advice to people also. Okay, like as I said, you right, frequently asked questions chatbot, like where it can answer questions. Like if you have any question in your mind, it can be able to go ahead and answer that for you from the knowledge database. Okay. So that's the thing. But the only problem with the knowledge-based agents is this is also limited only, right? You have a database. As long as the information is there in the database, you'll always be able to get the right information being provided to you, right? But if it is not there, or if it is not available in the database, then how are you going to handle it? If it is not available in your database, then your response is not going to come. And that's a limitation, right? That's a limitation. It required all the efforts to update your database, then only it can answer appropriate. If your database is not there with the appropriate information, then it cannot be able to answer it for you. It is also confined to the database itself. Okay, so it and again, one more thing is it couldn't learn its mistake. If it's a mistake, it will not be able to learn that it is a mistake. It will keep repeating that again and again. What is a mistake? What is the right thing? It will only give you the answer. Whether if it is right or whether if it's wrong, it doesn't know. That is another limitation which we used to have with knowledge-based agents in the year 1980s. Okay, 1980s. Okay. Within this span, we came up with another agent called as the goal-based. Okay, we came up with goal-based and utility-based. Okay, so we have here the goal-based and as well as the utility-based agents. So from 1990 to 2000, what happened is we had the goal-based and the utility-based agents. Okay, so now what exactly is the goal-based and utility-based agents? See, agents which started right using goals. Okay, they are called as the basically the goal-based agents. So when you refer to the goal-based agents, this is something which we have currently. Okay, so right now, if you could be able to see here very clearly, right, the main purpose or the main idea over here is when you talk about the goal-based or maybe the utility-based agents, what is the very purpose of it? See, in this case, the very purpose of it is agents who is going to start using goals. Like every agent which is having the goal associated with it, right? They will be classified here as the goal-based agents. Like let's say either winning the game. Let's say if you win the game, that's your goal. Or maybe you want to reach a particular destination. Okay, so you want to go ahead and reach a particular destination, right? That is also like one goal. Like what will happen is basically the goal based or the utility based agents are such that it will use maths and logic to choose the best action. It's not dumb, like you give a database like the previous scenario, like it will only work on it, or you give only if and then condition, it will only work on it. No, as the years progressed, as the technology slowly started increasing, your agents started becoming very popular and very smart enough. So what it started doing ultimately, so your agent goal based and utility based agents are that they started using some goals. Like at the end of the day, as an agent, I want to achieve to win the game, or I want to achieve to reach the particular destination. So basically they started using all the math and logic, right? So whatever math and logic are required, so that math and logic was being used ultimately to go ahead and then choose the best action out of it. Okay, so it used all the math and logic, and then finally it was able to go ahead and choose the best action associated with it. Like example, one of the very famous example, this is, okay, I don't know how many of you are aware of. If you're not aware, you can see a lot of videos available over the internet. Okay, so there is something called as IBM Deep Blue. Okay, IBM Deep Blue, somewhere in the year 1997, I'm referring to. Okay, IBM Deep Blue in the year 1997. So it played chess. Okay, it has played a chess against world champion. At that time, the world champion was Gary. Okay, it was Gary Kasparov. Okay, he was a chess champion, and IBM Deep Blue is a goal-based AI agent, which was developed by IBM in the year 1997 versus Gary Kasparov, who is the chess champion at that point of time. And what is the goal of the IBM Deep Blue, the goal-based agent, right? What is the goal of it? The goal of it is to win the game. That is the only goal which it has. Okay, the goal is to go ahead and win the game. It evaluated millions of possible moves and it selected the one with the best outcome. And this match was won by IBM Deep Blue. The AI agent has won the game. Okay, I mean, imagine right now, I'm not talking about somewhere in 2017 or 2018 or maybe 2025. I'm talking about the year 1997. At that time, IBM has developed a Deep Blue, which is a goal-based AI agent. Has been it was been able to take the battle with the Gary Kasparov, who was the chess champion, and IBM Deep Blue was able to win the game because its only goal was to win the game. It evaluated all the millions of possible moves with which it can be able to go ahead in the chess game. It selected the one with the best outcome, and it was able to go ahead and win ultimately. Okay, so even the Google Maps, if you take your Google Maps, right, even your Google Maps is also like a goal-based agent only, right? Even your Google Maps also is like a goal-based agent where your goal is to reach your destination. So your Google Maps will pick the best route based on the traffic and distance, and it will provide you that particular path. So in the year 1990 to 2000, okay, goal-based and utility-based, both are same only, okay? Utility-based agents came up. So these agents' main intention is to start using the goals, like win the game or reach the destination, something as such, where it will use all its math and logic to choose the best action, which can be associated, okay? So as I said you, right, example can be the IBM Deep Blue 1997. In the year 1997, it has actually been played the chess against the Gary Kasparov, who is a chess champion at that point of time. Its only goal was to win the game, where it evaluated millions of possible moves and selected the one with the best outcome. And in the real life also, you have your Google Maps where it can reach your destination. It can pick the best route based on the traffic and as well as on the distance. Okay, and the problem with the limitations is that like it still depends on some strategies, some math and logic. I mean, if you give any new situation, it cannot be able to adjust to that new situation unless if it is updated manually in the math and logic. It works totally logically, but that logic also somebody has to write it. Somebody has to take care of that math and logic. If that math and logic is compromised or if it is not being taken care, then this goal based and utility based agent is also going to fail literally. Okay, so ultimately the problem with this goal-based agent or the challenge or a limitation, whatever we want to call it as, the only problem is it cannot adjust to new situations. Okay, the only problem here is it cannot be able to go ahead and adjust to any new situations because those new situations are not being mentioned in this math and logic. If those are also being considered, if these new situations are also been considered in math and logic, right, then definitely it will be able to go ahead and play appropriately. Okay, if you want to go ahead and adjust to new situations, then definitely that math and logic, whatever is present, if that is getting updated, then this also is going to play a very important role. Okay, now the final one here is from the year 2010 to present. That is where we are currently in the year 2025. Okay, here smart agents came into the picture. Okay, so now smart agents are actually ruling everything. So right, there's a very big shift which has happened from the year 2010 to till today. Now agents now can learn from experience using machine learning. Okay, they can improve over the time just like how humans do, right? Like how we keep improving with experience, right? We will try to learn some new things, and if things are not happening, you will learn like why it is not happening, and then you'll try to overcome those actions. Same way right now the agents have also become smart. So today your agents are having the capability to learn from experience. Okay, they have such a great capability that it can be able to learn from experience. Okay, and then it can also be able to improve over the time. So over the time, it will also try to improve based on what the user is expecting from the agent. Like just like how humans do, it also will be able to go ahead and do it. Like how, for an example, you feed the AI agents with some data, like it can be photo, text, or any data it may be. They will try to find out the patterns, they will adjust their own behavior and will help us out in whatever way it can be. Okay, so best examples, like as I said you, right, today all your Alexa or maybe your Siri, all of these you observe, right, what they do, they will try to listen from you whatever you're asking in the form of a voice, right? They'll first listen, and then they are going to understand the voice, and then ultimately they are able to perform the action. That is how agents are today. So they will listen, then they will, I mean, it is automatically adjusting to the situation. Previously, the problem is with all the previous agents, it was all doing great, but it was never able to adapt to the real situation. Okay, until and unless whatever is happening in the real time, not even a single agent which was being developed previously before 2010, right? They were never able to understand how things actually happen in real time. All they were doing was whatever is being given to them, they were doing an excellent job on top of it. But if anything happens abnormal or any new situation comes up, they don't know how to react. That's when we overcome from 2010 to present by introducing the smart agents. Using these smart agents today, we are able to learn from experience, and then we are trying to gradually being able to improve over the time. And some of the examples you see here is Alexa or Siri, where it can listen and can understand your voice, and then it can perform the actions in a really great way. Okay, and then you have your Google Assistant, right? So your Google Assistant is also one of the example as a smart agent. Here also your Google Assistant, it can set us some reminders based on whatever we are going to ask, right? It can also answer any questions based on whatever we are going to provide it. Okay, and it can also able to control any smart devices. If you want to control any smart devices, right, your Google Assistant will play an important role. Even your self-driving cars is also a smart agent, right? As I said you today at the start of the session, yeah, right, your self-driving car also plays a very important role, where it always tries to detect the road signs, right? It always detects any road signs, it will try to avoid any obstacles, right? If there are any obstacles, it will try to avoid all of those obstacles, and then ultimately it will try to follow the traffic appropriately. That's the core capability of your self-driving cars. Even chat gpt is also one of the smart agent, I would say, right? Even the chat gpt, if you talk about, right, your chat gpt also will understand and generate the human like responses. Okay, it understands the whatever we ask, and on top of that it also generates, okay, it understands and as well as it generates the human like response, where we all can be able to understand it based on whatever it is been able to go ahead and ask us. Okay, so like this, if you observe here very clearly, these are really some interesting smart agents which are being available currently in the world. So today the smart agents are having the capability to automatically learn from the experience and gradually being able to improve over the time, just like how we as a human beings are going to work upon. Okay, so you feed them the data, the smart agents, it will automatically try to find out the patterns on its own, and it will try to adjust the behavior on its own automatically. Okay, so you see that here we have something called as Alexa or Siri, where it will try to listen, understand your voice, and it will try to perform your actions automatically. Google Assistant will try to set you the reminders, it will try to answer all your questions, and it will control your smart devices. Your self-driving cars are always going to be responsible to detect the road signs, avoid any obstacles, or it will try to follow the traffic rules appropriately. Your chat GPT will always try to understand and generate the human-like responses at the end of the day to all of us. Okay, these are all are your smart agents. Again, I'm not saying that we are limiting to this. There are so many smart AI agents which are available as of today in the world. But yeah, these are very popular ones which are being available in the market, is what I want to target to all of you over here. Okay, so ultimately, if you observe over here, what are the timelines? The timelines are like with the real examples. Okay, I'm talking only about the real examples where the applications came into the picture. Okay, in 1997, we had a product called as IBM Deep Blue. Okay, this is the first time an AI agent came into the picture. In 1997, IBM Deep Blue came into the picture. This was the first AI. Okay, this was the first AI to go ahead and beat the world chess champion. This was the first example and it was a major hit. Then after the 1997, then it took lots of time, and then it came in the year 2011. Second application came into the picture, and that was also developed by IBM. It was called as IBM Watson. Okay, so IBM Watson, it won a game called as the Jeopardy. Okay, it won a game called as the Jeopardy. Okay, this is by understanding the natural language. It was able to understand the natural language, and ultimately it was able to go ahead and win the Jeopardy. And then after that, after again a long gap in 2023, okay, then the real application of ChatGPT came into the picture, right? Where it has the capability to go ahead and it can answer all different questions. Okay, and it can also be able to write us all the different stories, and it also helps us out to handle all the tasks appropriately. Okay, now in the next 2 years, that is 2025, we are currently, there is a crew AI agent which is very popular. I'll discuss about this, okay, while we proceed further. Crew AI, so this crew AI, what it can be able to do, it can always be able to go ahead, it can plan, and as well as it can also be able to execute all the tasks across your applications automatically. This I will do it practically, but not right now. It's a 30-hour session, so we have a lot of time to complete all of them. But if you observe here, right, these are the real things which we need to do. So ultimately, today, in today's world, okay, in today's world, whatever your agents are there, in today's world, your agents, they can think, they can reason us, they can learn, okay, and even they can also be able to, okay, and even they can also be able to take the action. Okay, so that's the main idea which we all should be here aware about. So when you see the main thing in this scenario, like if you observe in 1997, your IBM Deep Blue came into the picture. This is the first application. Don't get confused with the timeline. You may say me, we started in 1950. Those are the AI agents which got started, but they were not implemented or executed. 1997 is the first execution which has happened with the IBM Deep Blue, where it was the very first AI to beat the world chess champion. And then in 2011, after a long gap, IBM Watson came, where it won the Jeopardy game by understanding the natural language. Then in 2023, again a long gap, ChatGPT came into the picture, where you can answer questions, you can write the stories, and can create all the tasks. After that, now we are 2025, where we have a crew AI as one of the very famous agents available in the market, where it can plan and can execute the tasks across different applications in an automatic manner. And this we will develop it. Okay, so ultimately, whatever agents are today currently present, they can be able to think, they can reason, they can learn, and even can take action automatically on its own. So this is the core capability which every one of us here should be able to have here as a clarity. So ultimately, what you should be knowing here is the early AI agents, the AI agents which came at a very early stages, right? All those early AI agents, they always came with something called as the fixed rule present inside. Okay, they always came up with a fixed rule. All your early AI agents which are there, right, they have always followed a fixed rule present inside it. Then after that, slowly they improved, and then the AI agents have started becoming like a knowledge systems. But the problem with the knowledge systems is here also it was doing great. It acted like really expert, but it was limited only to the database. Whatever is there in the database, it can only answer, but nothing more than that. Then came the goal-based agent. So goal-based agent was really extraordinary because that was the very first application where it was created as IBM Deep Blue. But the problem is in the goal-based agent, whatever is available in the math and logic, it can only be able to do that. If it is out of scope of this math and logic, then it cannot be able to handle it. Now today, if you talk about like where we are in 2025, today your AI agents which are there, when you talk about the current stage today, your AI agents can be able to learn any different scenario. They can adapt to any external scenarios, and then they can be able to act on their own. I mean, you don't need to say them what to do. They will learn automatically based on the feedback which you provide, which is a reinforcement learning. They can adapt to the external scenarios, and then they can be able to act on their own without you saying them what it needs to do. All our previous agents which were being created historically, right? For everything you have to guide it. But here, currently, the current AI agents which are being present, right? For them, you don't need to make them learn, or you don't need to make them adapt, or you don't need to make them act on their own. They themselves are responsible to go ahead and handle all the tasks proactively in whatever way they wanted it. So that's how they can be able to handle it right now. So this is one of the core capability which we all should here be aware and then take it up further. Okay. So this is what I just want to give you here as a clarity so that you all can be aware and then take it up further. Okay, so hope that this is clear to all of you. So this is what I just want to cover as part of our today's discussion. So we will continue our journey with AI agents only. So tomorrow I will try to take up the concept of types of AI agents. Somebody has asked me this question, right? What are the different types of AI agents which are present? Types of AI agents is something which I'm going to take it up tomorrow. Okay, where I'll be giving you a high level clarity. What are the different types of AI agents are there? Then we will do some case studies, and then we will also try to do some small hands-on activity also, where you can also be able to create a very small agents on your own, and you can be able to develop that like in a very easier manner. Okay, so that's the core capability which I just want to cover. So yeah, this is all for our today's discussion. Now let me know if there are any questions specifically or any concept to be discussed one more time. I'll be able to go ahead and do it for you all. But again, remember one thing, all these sessions are recorded and everything is available in the LMS portal. So you can go back, revise all these concepts, take down your own notes. If you have already taken it in the class itself, then there is no problem. But later you want to revise and take down all the notes, whatever I have been able to mention it here, right? You can also be able to do it at your free time. You just need to keep revising. These concepts are very simple, but you need to keep practicing so that you will always be able to have that better edge when we talk about the AI agents overall. Okay, so this is all about the AI agents. Hope that you all have got the proper understanding about the AI agents. Okay, and we still have further topics. We'll continue when we move ahead and then try to discuss about different agents which are available in the market. So we will go through and we'll try to cover different topics with regards to AI agents as part of our tomorrow's discussion. But today I have given you a high level overview of what is an AI agent and how it is important, what is the history of the AI agents, how it got started, and where it is evolving. All these examples we were being able to look into today. Yeah, definitely we'll send it to you, Rish. Okay. Before 2010? Yeah, sure. Okay, this is the one, Siddiq. Just have a look into it. Current AI is Crew AI. Crew. CREW AI. This is the one. Ramya, Crew CREWAI. It's a Crew AI, we call it as. Okay. What else? Lakshmi, attendance link is shared in the main chat. Please have a look into it. Already Shushmita has posted it. Okay. Perfect. Any more questions? Screenshots. What screenshots? I don't have any screenshots. This is a whiteboard where I'm explaining to all of you here. Okay. There is no screenshots as such. I can share this content if you wish to. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me share this to all of you. I think that would be easier. Let me export this. If anybody is interested, you can just have a look into it. I'm sharing this in the chat. Just give me 1 minute. The high resolution, let me export it. It got exported and it is null 39. Okay, let me share it. Give me 1 minute. Let me share it over the chat to all of you. If you are interested, check the file. Yeah, I just shared it. Okay. I just shared the entire file to all of you. Today, whatever I have covered, right? I've just shared the entire file in the chat. If anybody is interested, you can download that. Whatever content I have discussed is also been available there. By chance, if you have missed any content from your end, you can be able to utilize it. Okay. Fine then. So thank you once again, everyone. I have covered all the questions and today's topic is also been completed. So hope you all have thoroughly enjoyed the session for today as part of the AI agents. We'll continue with the remaining part as part of our tomorrow's discussion. And from there, we will be able to discuss the types of AI agents and then remaining topics with regards to AI agents, whatever is there, right? We'll try to target that. Okay. So thank you once again for all your time and have a great day. We will meet again in our tomorrow's session with different topics regards to AI agents. Okay. Thank you and have a great day, everyone. Over to you, Shushmita. Thank you for facilitating.
Yeah, thank you so much. So yeah, dear faculty members, it is just a reminder, please mark your attendance. As you all know, 60% of attendance is mandatory to get the certificate. So I'm just sharing the attendance link once again on the chat. If you are missed out to mark an attendance, please mark the attendance. Okay. Yeah, so thank you for joining. We'll meet again by tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you all. We'll be winding up for the day. Thank you.